Alright, let's do this. Your next act is absolutely amazing. She is a Raw Comedy National finalist, an absolute legend of the Tassie comedy scene. Please give it up for Chloe Escott.
Thank you very much, and please keep that applause going for all the achingly brave shit I'm about to say. So I've been doing stand-up for a while, been out of the game for a while. Last time you saw me, I was a man in my 20s and all my clothes had pockets. Now none of those things are true. Yeah, but what did you do when you turned 30? Did you go out for tapas? You know, there's a lot of like cultural expectations about turning 30, about like your 20s versus your 30s and what the differences are. And you better believe on my 30th birthday, I was real sarcastic about all of them. I was like, oh, look, I'm 30 now. Whoa! So everything's different now. My youth is fading. Guess I better reassess my life and make some changes. And 3 months later, like, help, I'm a girl. Help. So we've got a big crowd here tonight, like quite a diverse crowd. Like everyone's going to be at like a different kind of stage of being okay and on board with transgender people. It's, you know, everyone's going to be a little bit different, feel a little bit differently. It's not like there's just two kinds of people in the world and everybody is either like disgusting, toss them all into space, or I support you at every stage of your journey to become your true, authentic self. There's shit in between that. You know, you might be like okay and feel okay, for instance, about people who kind of disappeared completely from view for a year or two and then re-emerge with like a whole new name and appearance, and they've taken on like all of the mannerisms and cultural expectations of their preferred gender. But then like someone like me shows up and you're like, dude, your voice is deep as hell and I saw you walking down Collins Street 6 months ago with a 3-day growth and a black t-shirt that said The National on it. What are you doing? I understand that can be a strange thing to adjust to, and you might not like, that might not fit in with your understanding of gender, how it works. So like I'll explain, like here's how that kind of works, the business of me being who I am and who I want to be now, is that I say, hi, I'm Chloe and I'm a woman, and you say, no you're not. And I say, yeah I am, and I'm right, so I win. And if you want to keep playing, you can then say, can you prove it? And I say, nope! And I win again. I really like how that works. But yeah, like me being a woman is pretty much what it's going to be like when Australia becomes a republic. And it's like, it's not going to fundamentally affect most people's lives in any way at all, but it just feels right. And Erica Betts is disproportionately upset about it. If you'd like to watch my set again, by the way, it's going to be appearing on junkie.com tomorrow morning under the headline, "You won't believe how this transgender comedian epically owns former Employment Minister Erica Betts over his hateful, poisonous transphobia that we have absolutely no record of, but that we can just extrapolate, given the rest of his whole shit, that he's probably really not that." It's an unusually long headline. Won't even fit on the mobile page, just on the intro. So yeah, I'm glad this. I feel this has been going well so far. Thanks for being with me on this. But I regretfully, it's the point in the set where I have to just abandon the pretense of comedy completely and start getting into the tedious business of dispelling myths. I'm so sorry. As a representative of a marginalised and largely misunderstood group, I know we've enjoyed the comedy so far, but now it's time to start oh, I can't even say it. Oh. Dispelling myths. Now come on, just strap in and bear with me and I'll get this out of the way. Okay, so first of all, Chloe, isn't this all just a devious ploy to trick unsuspecting men into having sex with you under false pretenses? It's not a ploy to trick unsuspecting men into having sex with me under false pretenses. It is a ploy to trick unsuspecting women into forming a close emotional bond with me based on a presumed shared experience of womanhood under false pretenses. You need to understand me here. So Chloe, why did it take until you were 30 for you to figure this shit out? My understanding of trans people is they all have a moment when they're 5 years old when they start compulsively putting lipstick and eyeliner on Tonka trucks or some shit. Why did it take you so long? Well, yeah, this is... Everyone has a different experience. Everyone kind of comes at it in a different way at a different time. You know, there are some kind of shared, relatively common experiences from people figuring their gender stuff out. And mine, for instance, and this is the same way for a lot of trans people, a lot of trans women, is the time that I really knew that I wanted to be a woman was the first time that I caught a glimpse of the portrait of Dame Millie Melba on the $100 note. I know that sounds weird to you. It was weird to me. But that's like as soon as I saw her on the $100 note, that's when I knew. And I thought I was alone in that, and I've spoken to a lot of trans women since I came out. They all had the same experience. Which answered the question, that's why ATMs only give out 20s and 50s. The $100 note will turn you trans. And you might wonder from that, how much of that is the particular appearance of Dame Millie Melba in this portrait on the $100 note, and how much of that is just the sheer aspirational value of seeing someone represented on the highest form of currency and circulation that there is. Well, hopefully this will answer your question. Have you ever noticed that all Australian trans men look just like Sir John Monash? Or that prior to 1996 and the introduction of polymer currency, they all looked like Sir Douglas Mawson? You see, you're getting educated. This is a good night for you. Another thing I get a lot, Chloe, I didn't feel comfortable asking you this before, but now I feel that I can. Which Sex and the City character are you? Without even thinking, there's no hesitation about it. I am Carrie. I am such a Carrie. And you know why? Because we can both touch type. Another thing I get a lot of girls Chloe, I really admire you so much. You're so brave for being who you are and doing what you do. I've never met someone like you before, but I was watching a really extraordinary documentary the other day. It was about a transgender woman who was denied the medical treatment that she felt that she needed to be her true authentic self, and she was all alone, didn't really have a support network, and so she had to find her own way of expressing herself and expressing her femininity in the way that she wanted to. It was a really extraordinary and touching documentary. Have you seen it? It's called it's called The Silence of the Lambs. Have you seen that? Mixed feelings about The Silence of the Lambs. Mixed feelings about the portrayal of the Buffalo Bill character, but downside serial killer who kidnaps women, cuts off their skin to make a skin suit, and that's like just one of the all of the most hateful and toxic trans woman stereotypes that they put into this one character. That's kind of a downside. Upside is extraordinary taste in music that matches my own very well. Chases Clarice Starling around the house, backed by a deep cut from a 1982 Fall LP. You take the positive representation where you can get it. And one serious question that I get a lot is I really want to be helpful. I really want to do what I can to support you, to support people like you. What can I do for trans people? How can I be a good trans ally? And I would say there's another documentary that you may or may not have seen about it's about another trans woman who can't is quite poor, can't afford the again, the medical treatment that she feels like she needs, and her her partner's very, very supportive, and he'd do whatever he could for her, and so he kind of gets some people together and finds his own way of trying to raise some money for the medical treatment. And it's a really inspiring documentary. It's called Dog Day Afternoon. Have you seen it? And sure, the bank robbery didn't succeed, and one of the accomplices got shot dead, and the guy who instigated it got 20 years in prison. But at least he tried, and that's all that I ask of you. But seriously, if there is anybody in your life who is struggling with any kind of gender confusion, gender identity kind of thing, whatever form it takes them, the best thing that you can do for them is to just give them your support and your understanding, and most of all, $100.